Ooh, don't go make me say mean things about an Irish horror film. Come on. Make sure you're good in the first act. Nice. Make sure you're good in the second act. Yeah, okay. And stick to that. Nope, the third act sucks.
As I've always believed, there's nothing that can't be explained.
Oddity is a truly bizarre horror film, and the only thing weirder than the plotline I heard for this is how unlike that the film actually is. It's about a woman who tries to get vengeance for her dead sister by using a variety of cursed items to take revenge on the people who killed her. Also, she's blind. And that makes it sound like some sort of good for her film, like it fits into that subgenre. It doesn't. No. So there's this woman alone in a remote house at night, which she's renovating, and she goes to her car, comes back, closes the door, gets a knock at the door. It's a man saying there is someone in your house that got in while you were at your car. What do you do? Terrifying. That as an opener was incredible. I was hooked in. And this is obviously the sister who ends up dead. We're not going to say how. But then from there, the film just feels like it's happening, it's going along, and you're waiting for a big finale, you know? It's really good what the film does. It's incredible. There are so many, there's not even that many jump scares or anything in it, but it is clearly a horror film. The vibe, the setting, the intensity, it stays the whole time. It's really, really fucking creepy. And when there is a jump scare, it's amazing. It's so impressive for over an hour, and I was really hooked in. I was thinking, my goodness, the big indie horror win of the year is Irish. Let's go, boys. And then it fell apart so violently. So our leading girl is blind, and she goes to visit her dead sister's ex-husband, who is living in the house where her sister died with his new girlfriend. And she tells them that she's going to stay for a couple nights, and then spooky things start to happen. That's right. And there are a lot of things that are unexpected about this film, and a lot of them were really good. And I felt like as it took the first 3 or 4 twists, it was crushing it. But somewhere in the 5th to 6th twists, it lost me completely. I don't want to spoil the whole thing, but it's bizarre. I feel like when you know or think you know where a story is going, sometimes you'll be wrong. That's okay. Sometimes they want to do something unexpected. That's okay. But it feels like in this, they just did a couple of things near the end that were unexpected for the sake of doing something unexpected. And it wasn't actually the best story they could tell. It feels so bizarre, the story choices, because everything else here, the direction, the acting, oh my gosh, the jump scares, there's a couple of incredible ones in there. Everything else was good. So I don't understand a couple of the decisions near the end in story terms. It just feels so bizarre, off the wall. They could have broken into musical, and it would have been better than what they did for me. Look, a horror film can either stick the landing or not, and normally that's clear cut. Normally there's a consensus on that. Generally the consensus online seems to be that they did stick the landing and that this is great, but for me this fell off a cliff after a bit over an hour maybe, and I'm so disappointed. I don't understand why more people aren't. I thought this was going along so well. I thought I knew the vague direction at least that it was going from there. I thought it was going to be a good for her horror movie at the end. Had no problem with that. It would have been one of my favourite horror films of the year. But it really dropped off. And it's so disappointing. It's so sad to see. And I just don't get why. I feel like Damien McCarthy, director, is going to make an incredible film. And I thought this was it. His style is really good. He could handle any big horror project and do it amazingly well. But the actual story here upset me a lot. It could have just had a nice solid ending that didn't blow any minds because it didn't need to with what it had already done, how well everything it had done was executed. Instead, it just didn't. No, not for me. Maybe I'll think differently on rewatch, but I don't have a lot of desire to rewatch it right now, even though I really enjoyed a lot of it. So I'm giving Sloppity 3 stars. Just takes one little push, or in this case, just not one little push, and this film could have stuck the landing like Simone Biles. It's like M. Night Shyamalan-esque. It's like, oh, I'll just add one more twist. just one more twist. Oh, and another one. It's like a tick, can't help himself.